Something is missing from New Plymouth. It used to soar high above the treetops with a playful and inquisitive nature. We're used to the usual bold characters, like the boisterous keriru and the blissful tui, but one bird is missing with an even bolder personality, the kaka. Back in the day, New Plymouth was teeming with them, with one of our most famous past sites, Kākā, being named after these feathered creatures. I found some old newspaper articles pulled up from papers past about the decimation of the kaka. Even pre-European times, the kaka was being snared by the thousands, and upon European arrival, expeditions were held where people would come back with 4 or 6 sacks filled with kaka and keriru. By 1928, the kaka was very scarce in New Plymouth, and it's been gone for decades. But in 2022, that all changed. A kaka was sighted, but it wasn't in a remote part of some big reserve on the outskirts of New Plymouth. On this very street in central New Plymouth, a local woman, just by chance, spotted this elusive bird.
Well, my name's Janet Hunt, and I live in New Plymouth, the West Town of New Plymouth. And on the day in question, which was September, and I can't quite remember which year, but around about this time, it was spring and the kōwhai were in flower. And I was out in our backyard, which is just behind us. And you can see across the backs of all the sections going that way. Mm-hmm. And I looked down the yard and blow me down, there was a kaka. I was out here in the garden. I don't actually remember what I was doing, but I must have heard something, I think. And I looked across at that tree over there, the distant one, which is possibly, I don't know what it is. I was going to say Bahutakawa, it's not. But anyway, that's the tree that the bird was in, that small break opened up one. And it was just flipping around over in there. And I thought, oh my goodness, that's a kaka. In a tree down there, just down the road. So I dashed out, got my camera, dashed out the front and went down the street. And by then the kaka had moved into a kōwhai, which is on the edge of the street. So I managed to get photos of the kaka swinging up and down and hanging from the kōwhai and feeding.
Quite a regular thing to do, grab a camera of something you find amazing. But Janet isn't telling us everything. She didn't just take photos of it, she took these. These aren't just regular iPhone photos. They're incredible. Look at this one. Why are you somebody, I guess, who would grab a camera like that before you went out and got that shot?
I'm a really keen photographer, and particularly bird photographer. So I've got like a huge sort of archive of bird photos of different species. Whenever I see one, and quite often I'm out walking, I've got a long lens, probably a bit maybe longer than the one you've got, but not too cumbersome. And so I'll be shooting. If I see something interesting, I'll be shooting it if I can.
This is the very tree that kaka sat in. Today it sits in flower with all the usual suspects feeding from it, but no kaka in sight. I think if this happened to anybody else, they wouldn't have noticed and just would have kept on going with their work or whatever they were doing. I think it's such profound luck that it happened to a woman like this. What expertise do you have in native birds?
Well, I'm just totally an amateur. I don't have any scientific expertise. My degree is in English literature. So it's really just my own passion for and interest in birds that gives me any expertise at all. But when I write, when I wrote this book, which is probably the one that set me off, I used the expertise of people who were in the field. So people like Doc, I'm sort of more of a researcher than an expert, if you know what I mean. So I'm good at drawing together the information, writing it up, putting it into words that kids can understand. At least I like to think that's the case. And then, yeah, just making it attractive. So I do the book design as well, so because I do graphic design.
Right.
And so the photography, whenever I can do my own photographs, I put them in there too.
Yeah, sure,
That's
sure.
just what I like doing as well. So I'm not a scientist.
What struck me about Janet was just how humble she was. We could have sat there talking about birds for hours, and well, we kind of did. But it actually took a bit of force to get her to talk about her achievements.
Is it true that your books, they won some awards as well?
They did.
Can you tell me what they are?
Look at that. Those are all awards.
Can you read them out for me?
This one won the New Zealand Post Book Awards Book of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
So that was across all fiction and non-fiction. And it also won the Children and Young Adults Award that same year.
Uh-huh.
So it was a big winner, this
Yeah,
one.
sure.
Each bird has its own passport because it
Oh,
belongs
cool.
here.
I like that. That's
And
cool.
like, I would put like a facing page which has a big picture. I'd have like a little story. So this one's here, the story of Richard Henry Kākā, which was one of the first Kākā that was found on land in New Zealand. He was caught.
So a Kākā is back in New Plymouth in 2022. And it just so happens to land next to a woman who's one of the most capable people to deal with that situation. I can't show you all of the books that Janet has written or contributed to, because I don't think they would fit on the screen. But she was kind enough to give me 2 of them. And although a self-proclaimed amateur would be the last word I'd think of.
Are you hopeful to see more Kākā in New Plymouth in the future?
There's every chance. Like New Plymouth is one of the most forested cities in New Zealand, I understand. Like we've got so much bush here. We've got all these riversides and bush areas and parks and reserves, and there's every chance I would think that it would be an attractive place for a Kākā to come to. I used to live in Waiheke, and we didn't have Kākā there, and they had Kākā out on Little Barrier. And the Kākā from Little Barrier have colonised Waiheke, and now it's quite common to see them on Waiheke. But I remember being there one time in one of the ranges, and they said, "Come with me, and look, there's a Kākā nest in here." And he showed me this secret location where there was a Kākā nest in a tree. And now, I don't know, we don't know where they're nesting now, I suppose, but he might still know. But, now they're quite common, and I was just there recently, and wow, there's a Kākā flying overhead. So yeah, it'd be fantastic if we saw that here. Like if we were just sitting here and I thought, oh, there's Kākā.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you think, why not, eh?
Yeah.
I think seeing one of those, it's kind of like not seeing a unicorn, but has it made you, or seeing a 4-leaf clover, has it made you more observant around the place for them? Are you going out? Is it in your mind?
In.
Yeah, you tuned in. Is it in your mind very often?
Not really, but I think that I know what they look like, and I would just instantly recognise one if I saw one.
Absolutely.
So,
well, you did.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you did.
I don't really know how to finish this video. No Kākā magically appeared as I was filming this. Maybe it ends with me pestering Doc enough until they finally give in and release. Okay, so you wouldn't believe it, but I got a text from Janet. She spotted a Kākā again on a walk. She only had her iPhone this time. We were just there today. Weren't we? Okay, so 3 days ago, I went and did my interview with Janet, right? And then for the last 3 days, I've been editing the video. And today, I actually went over and I showed Janet the video to check that everything was okay, and went away and said maybe it'll be out in the next couple of days. But she just texted me this message the same day I saw her again. I've asked her if she wants to come with me tomorrow to try and find, well, not try and find the Kākā, but just shoot some birds or just show me what happened. She only met me about 3 days ago, so understandable if she doesn't, but yeah, fingers crossed.
Okay, Janet, why are we here today?
Well, yesterday, after we'd seen you, we came here for a walk in the evening, and we were just toddling along through the bush, and suddenly I heard, "Rah!" And I thought, oh my God, that's a kaka. And we looked up, and there it was. There was one up there, and then a few seconds later we saw another one. It was just high above us up there in the trees. So that's why we're here. We're going to go and see if we can find them again.
I think it's probably one of the biggest coincidences that's happened to me in the last couple of years.
Absolutely.
Right? You must have been...
I know that I have heard that there are kaka here, but I have never seen them here at Barrett Lagoon.
Sure.
So it was pretty amazing. I think I've always looked in the wrong place, mind you. I think I've always thought it might be over that side.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
I know
in
that
fact,
side.
it's on this side. So we were up in here.
Right at that cross section. You
Yeah.
sent me the text last night.
Actually just about here. We kind of went through this track here and came up to there.
Okay.
That's about when we heard them. So maybe that's where they hang out
Well,
normally.
fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Don't like our chances for some reason, but
No.
I'll be happy and we're going to enjoy it no matter what, right?
Yeah, okay, absolutely, yeah.
About 24 hours before this moment right here, after meeting with me earlier that day, Janet was on an afternoon stroll. She heard the noise first, and she looked up, and it was confirmed. 2 kaka were sitting on this tree right here. This time, unfortunately only with her iPhone, she took this picture. I'd like to tell you that the perfect ending happened. That me and Janet spotted another kaka that night, but it's just not true. I think it's actually better this way. Something hard to find is what motivates you to keep going out there. To take that extra loop track, to look in places you usually wouldn't, to talk to people who you otherwise never would have crossed paths with. I think I'll see a kaka in New Plymouth one day. Until then, I'll keep trapping. Keep buying native trees for kaka to potentially one day sit in. Maybe buy a cheeky Japanese maple while I'm actually stay focused. And keep going outside and having a look. Matching the kaka in its inquisitiveness. Maybe one day I'll get as lucky as Janet did. The links to Janet's books are down in the description. I strongly recommend you get some. They're amazing. On your way down there, please hit the subscribe button and all the other things. All right, I can't get too far away from this camera because I get scared. It's going to get stolen or something. See ya.